What's up, everybody? Welcome to the channel, or welcome back to the channel. Today I am going to give you my DC Universe podcast, episode 9. I can't believe we already have 9 episodes of this thing. But yeah, I have a lot of news to get to this week, so I'm just gonna get right to it. So, we're gonna start off with Lanterns. So, the showrunner of Lanterns, so I forget the dude's, Chris Mundy, that's his name. Chris Mundy, the guy who showran Ozark, right? Um, did an interview this week, and he said a few things, but I want to talk about with Lanterns. Um, he said the Lantern show is about, which kind of scares me for the fate of Hal Jordan in the DCU, but we'll talk about that in a minute. But the Lantern show is kind of about like passing a mantle and learning how to let go and stuff like that. And even he praised Aaron Pierre as an actor with a dramatic training, but also playing Jon Stewart. Like, Hal doesn't think he needs Jon Stewart, but Jon is very calm and calculated and measured, and Jon knows he should be here. He knows he earned the right to be here because he did earn that Green Lantern ring, and Hal is like the older cop and stuff like that. And the showrunner basically compared it to like a buddy cop relationship, right? Like you have an older. If we want to compare this to True Detective, we have the older Woody Harrelson character played by Kyle Chandler, Hal Jordan, and then we have the younger Matthew McConaughey type character played by Aaron Pierre. So if that's the relationship that they're going for, I am very interested in that. In terms of they didn't give a release date for the trailer. I'm still hoping we get a trailer by the end of this year. Hopefully. But yeah. And then the other thing he said was, he mainly plays. I'm sure Kyle Chandler is great in the show, but hopefully. But he mainly praised Aaron Pierre. So what kind of scares me about that is Hal Jordan dying. That kind of scares me, right? When they announced that Hal Jordan would be played by a 60-year-old, that kind of scared me. Not that I don't think Kyle Chandler would do a great job. I think he will. I just think he's a lot older than most of us would think of Hal Jordan, right? So, I hope Hal doesn't die, or I hope if he does die, they do like a Parallax storyline, or a Blackest Night storyline, or something like that. But yeah, for me, these comments get me excited about the show because this is one of my most anticipated projects of next year. But they also get me kind of nervous for the fate of Hal Jordan. So please leave your thoughts in the comments about this topic. And now we're moving on to the next thing. So, the artist of Absolute Batman, which is a really great Batman run in the comics. It's basically if you took Batman and like changed, like he's still Batman, but changed like Bruce Wayne isn't rich in the Absolute universe. He is he's poor, but he's on like a working man salary. He's not poor, but he has a genius level intellect, and there's a lot of cool stuff that happens in that run. Shout out to Scott Snyder and Nick Chiganta, I think was his name, right? Shout out to Scott Snyder and Nick Triganta for writing this book and illustrating this book. But anyway, the artist of a book, Nick Triganta, I think that's how you pronounce his name, wants Studio Trigger to do an animated movie of Absolute Batman. I think this would be a great idea. Now, if you don't know who Studio Trigger is, they are, they're the guys that created the really good Cyberpunk 2077 animated series. They've also done like really good episodes of Star Wars Visions. They've also done like this wasn't very good, but they also did like some of the animation for Secret Level, the Amazon video game show, right? But yeah, like they would be perfect for this, like especially with some of the stuff that Scott Snyder has Batman build in this. Like he basically has like a Venom type cape, and he has a battle axe and stuff like that. If James Gunn greenlights an Absolute Batman movie, Elseworld movie, I would be very, 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 very happy. So yeah, next topic. Please leave your thoughts on Studio Trigger doing a Batman, Absolute Batman animated movie. Please leave your thoughts on that in the comments below. Next topic. And this one I have some opinions about. So, the Batman 2 is filming next year. Finally. The Batman 2, Matt Reeves' The Batman 2 with Robert Pattinson, is finally filming next year. So we should get like a villain announcement soon-ish, right? Like maybe in January we should get a villain announcement. Remember guys, this is not the James Gunn version of Batman. This is Matt Reeves' own version of Batman in his own universe. So there's a big rumor that Deathstroke might be the main villain of the Batman 2. Honestly, guys, and you guys know I love this Batman universe, I do not like this choice if it's true. Why, Noah? You love Deathstroke. I've said that multiple times on this channel. I love Deathstroke, and I love Batman, and I like the Ben Affleck Batman movie was gonna be Batman versus Deathstroke, right? Right. I'll tell you why. Matt Reeves' version of Batman, I love that version of Batman, but that version of Batman is very grounded. Deathstroke is not very grounded. You can make him very grounded, but then it would be like taking away his badassness and just making him like a soldier, like without cybernetics, right? And stuff like that. And with Deathstroke, he can fight Superman and win. He can take down the whole Justice League and win. He can fight Batman. Like Batman said, like in the comic books, yeah, Slade, if I'm in a hand-to-hand fight, Slade Wilson is my hardest opponent that I've ever had to fight. Right? That's how good Deathstroke is. If Matt Reeves were to do Deathstroke, then he would be super grounded, bro. It would still be cool if he did Deathstroke. But if I had a choice of who would do Deathstroke, either Matt Reeves or James Gunn, I would choose James Gunn 100%. The reason for that is, did you see Superman? Did you see Peacemaker? Very, very fantastical, right? And Deathstroke is mainly a Nightwing villain, right? Like he does fight Batman, but Deathstroke is mainly a Nightwing villain. So yeah, for me, you guys know my choice for who I hope is the villain for the Batman 2. The Court of Owls. It's my favorite. Yeah, it is my favorite Batman villain. It's me and my best friend Evan O'Blanc's favorite Batman villain. Like, me and him grew up on reading that run, the original Scott Snyder run for Batman. So, that's me and him's top choice. Me and my best friend Evan LeBlanc's top choice too for who should be the Batman Part 2 villain and stuff like that. But yeah, so what do you guys think about Matt Reeves potentially doing Deathstroke in his Batman 2 sequel? And yeah, next thing. Next thing. Alexandra Daddario wants to play Wonder Woman. Now, if you don't know who this girl is, right? She was in the Percy Jackson movies. She was in San Andreas with The Rock. She she played Lois Lane in animation in the Tomorrowverse, the same universe where my boy Jensen Ackles voiced Batman, right? That's part of the reason why I want Jensen Ackles to play Batman. But yeah, Alexandra Daddario, she's also been, I haven't seen White Lotus, but she's been in White Lotus. What else has she been in? She's been in a lot of things. And I think she would be a great Wonder Woman. She basically plays a young Wonder Woman with Annabeth, right? Like, obviously Percy Jackson is way more toned down than Wonder Woman is. It's still great. I cannot wait for Percy Jackson Season 2, right? But this is the movie version of Percy Jackson we're talking about. And Leah Jeffries does a great job in the TV show for Annabeth. But do I think Alexandra Daddario would be a great Wonder Woman? Yes, I do. Why? Because she's basically played that before. Well, she's played a version of that before with her playing Annabeth in the Percy Jackson movies. And I think she's still young enough where she could do it for 20 years, right? And she looks like Wonder Woman, right? And Alexandra is one of these actresses, but obviously she's been in a lot of things. I just gave you a list of what she's been in. But she isn't like a household name. Like, people know who she is, especially if you saw those Percy Jackson movies, right? But she's not a household name yet, which means she's cheaper, right? So, I think she would be a great Wonder Woman. Would she be my top choice? Probably not. The girl from, I can't pronounce her name, even though I'm Greek, and I don't really remember her name, but I've always been campaigning for a Greek person to play Wonder Woman, since it's a Greek character. I am Greek, for those people that don't know. I'm Greek. I've been campaigning since I was, Gal Gadot got the role, right? And Gal Gadot can't act. That's just my opinion. And I don't think she represents Wonder Woman. Let's just put it that way. But yeah, so I can't wait until James Gunn casts whoever he wants to be Wonder Woman. But I think Alexandra would be a great pick. But my top choice would be the girl from Assassin's Creed Odyssey who played Cassandra, because she's been rumored to be Wonder Woman. That would be my top choice. Why? Well, mainly just because she's Greek. But I don't care. I want a Greek Wonder Woman, man. Right? Or like, just based off acting ability, Adrian Arjona, the girl from Andor. Those two would be ahead of Alexandra, but Alexandra would probably be like, or no, it would go the girl from Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Melissa Barrera as number 2, Adrian Arjona as Wonder Woman for number 3, and Alexandra Daddario at number 4. So those would be my ranking of who I would want to play Wonder Woman in that order. But any of those 4 would be great. But yeah, so yeah. Now I'm gonna get into some business stuff because it affects DC Studios. Okay, so if you guys didn't know, Warner Brothers is probably gonna get acquired by either Paramount, Paramount Skydance, Netflix, Apple, Amazon, or NBC Universal. So first we'll talk about the good news, and then we'll talk about the kind of worrying news at the end. Right? Or no, we'll talk about the worrying news first, right? Because I want to end this podcast on a good note. So first of all, if Warner Brothers can stay independent, that's what I would want, right? Like, some of the stuff that Paramount or Netflix will do with Warner Brothers if they acquire it is cool, and it will help boost their streaming services and make it better. But if I had a choice, I would say keep Warner Brothers independent, right? But it is probably gonna get acquired by somebody. So first of all, so we're gonna start with Netflix. So Netflix, Ted Sarandos, the CEO of Netflix, said a few weeks ago, yeah, we have no interest in buying Warner Brothers. We have no interest in doing that stuff. That was a bold-faced lie. Dude, Netflix just hired the same bank that got Warner Brother. I mean, not Warner. But got Paramount and Skydance to merge. And these guys are good. Like they're like the top bank in business mergers in the world. Like these guys are good. So that means Netflix is very, 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 very serious about acquiring Warner Brothers. And I get why, dude. Like, they would own DC. Like, this is a DC podcast, but they would own DC, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, HBO, Game of Thrones, Matrix. What else would they would own a whole shit ton of stuff, right? And DC would just be one of those things. What would probably happen if Netflix were to get Warner Brothers, though, and why they're my last choice to get Warner Brothers, though, even though I love Netflix. If you want to see me review Stranger Things, the Stranger Things universe, go to my other channel, that's where I'm reviewing it. Go to Country with Noah, that's where I'm reviewing Stranger Things. But yeah, I love Netflix, but they would cut the budgets in half for James Gunn's, for DC in general, bro. Because Netflix has no theatrical, they're getting better with theatrical. Like, the last episode, the series finale of Stranger Things is gonna be in theaters. Frankenstein, which I cannot wait to watch on Friday, was just in theaters. Knives Out 3 is getting a theatrical release. But here's the thing. Netflix doesn't do 6 months and then or a month and then it comes to our streaming service. They do a week and then it comes to our streaming service. So, Netflix getting Warner Brothers would probably mean this. They would lower the budgets, there would be less things, and they would they wouldn't do as many things. So they would probably only do like one or two movies a year, or probably even one movie a year and like 3 series, which um which like and they would only be only be on Netflix, and they probably wouldn't get theatrical releases. So that is why Netflix is my last choice to get Warner Brothers. If they do though, the benefit is Netflix would just merge HBO Max into Netflix, which means we would get everything that HBO has and everything on the DC catalog on Netflix, like everywhere, because Netflix would own Warner Brothers. That would be the win. But the loss would be they would probably lower budgets. There would be less DC things in general, and there would be less things from Warner Brothers in general, and we wouldn't have a theatrical experience, right? For Warner Brothers in general anymore. So yeah. So now let's talk about some good news, shall we? So if Paramount buys Warner Brothers, so I have two things to report about Paramount. Paramount buys Warner Brothers. First of all, I've covered a lot of this on my country channel, but if you guys didn't hear, my favorite creator of all time, Taylor Sheridan, my favorite television producer, my favorite, well, yeah, he would probably be my favorite director, and my favorite writer of all time for television and movies, Taylor Sheridan, is leaving Paramount for Comcast, NBC Universal, and I've said I like a lot of what David Ellison is doing with Paramount. Like, I just did a video a few days ago on Taylor Sheridan writing the Call of Duty movie, which I'm very excited for now. You guys, if you watch that video, you will know how much I love Taylor Sheridan, right? But, Warner Brothers, Paramount needs a win, bro. Like, they got the Duffer Brothers with Stranger Things. So far, I've only watched up to season. I've watched the first 3 seasons. I'm gonna start season 4 probably tomorrow. But Duffer Brothers could have the potential to be as good as Taylor Sheridan, but it's gonna take them a while, right? And they're gonna have to up their show output. So Paramount, if they want people to forget that they lost Taylor Sheridan, then they gotta get this deal done. Right? And again, I don't know if they're gonna get it, because again, as I just told you, Netflix just hired the bank that helped Skydance and Paramount merge and stuff like that. But anyway, Paramount's CEO David Ellison said if they were to acquire Warner Brothers, everything would stay the same besides like the ownership, right? So like Mike DeLuca and Pam Abdi would still be running the movie side, and most importantly to this podcast, James Gunn and Peter Safran would still be running DC, which, because I don't want to see another DC reboot when this reboot is so good. I didn't really like the ending of the finale of Peacemaker Season 2, but that's pretty much the only James Gunn thing I haven't liked, right? I didn't really like the finale of Peacemaker Season 2 very much, but other than that, like, I've loved everything that James Gunn has done with the DC Universe so far. I cannot wait for Supergirl, I can't wait for Lanterns, and I can't wait for Clayface next year as well. So, yeah. But yeah, and then the other thing that Paramount announced is that if they were to buy Warner Brothers, HBO and everything that Warner Brothers owns would just merge into Paramount Plus. So yeah, thank y'all so much for all your support, and I hope you have a great day. I hope you enjoyed this episode of a podcast, and I hope you have a great day. And God bless. And if you enjoy this content, please subscribe, like, and share this video. I would really appreciate it, and it would really help me out.